Hello everyone, my name is Julia Westberg and this is my presentation on the Ebola epidemic. What is Ebola? Ebola virus originated in the Democratic Republic of Congo, and this widespread of the Ebola virus mainly struck between the time of 2013 to 2016. The areas that were hit the hardest were Guinea, Syria, Loni, and Liberia. Ebola killed more than 11,000 people and devastated local communities and healthcare systems. 28,000 people were infected by this epidemic. What was thought to be the cause of Ebola? Ebola is thought to have originated from wild animals that became infected and then came into contact with humans. The disease started transferring from person to person due to spreading of infected bodily fluids. It is understood that Ebola originated in the Democratic Republic of Congo in 1976. Then the virus had spread gradually at times and then led to massive outbreaks in communities. It is also understood that Ebola causes 90% fatality rates in people who become infected with the disease. What is the real cause of Ebola? Ebola is caused by contact with infected bodily fluids, and this first started with animals that were infected and then later spread to humans. The original understanding of symptoms. The understanding of early symptoms in patients that were infected with Ebola start out with muscle pain, sore throat, headache, intense weakness, sudden fever, and then later stages that come along with patients that are infected with Ebola are things like diarrhea, rash, vomiting that can lead to impaired kidney and liver bleeding and functioning. White blood cells and platelet counts will become low in the patient. What is Ebola? This is like a diagram that shows, and it starts with it's a virus that results in a systematic viral infection throughout the entire body of the patient, and this infection attacks white blood cells, and that's what causes the patient's immune system to go down and get sick. And then this whole virus started with bats that became infected in West Africa, and then those just kept spreading, and then it later on spread to humans, and now humans can be infected and then can also lead to infection in other humans by coming into contact with infected bodily fluids. A new discovered symptom that was found over time that wasn't originally known. Scientists eventually realized that it was possible for people to be infected while being asymptomatic. So this means that there could be somebody that is right next to you, isn't showing any symptoms, but can indeed be infected and can also be contagious. You just can't see by looking by appearance. It's internal. What were early treatments of this disease? The earliest treatment of Ebola was supportive therapy, and supportive therapy focused on things like balancing the patient's liquids and electrolytes with an IV, maintaining oxygen levels and blood pressure, and then treating other infections that could occur by Ebola. And then another thing that was commonly used was quarantine, and this was more so to keep the infected patients isolated until they can't be contagious. That way the virus doesn't spread farther and farther, and then you try to just kind of contain it into one spot. And then with this, it was also very important that caregivers suited up and wore masks and everything, so when they were helping the patients and they were in close contact, they didn't also become infected. How have treatments changed? Treatments have mostly stayed the same over time, but the biggest one is they have found medications that are effective in treating Ebola. So the overtime medications were found, and the medications that were found to be effective were ZMapp, NIHS, and Regeneron. After studies on these medications, it was found that the most effective out of the three were NIHS and Regeneron. When Ebola was caught early on patients who used Regeneron, the patients faced mortality rates of 6%, and with NIHS, they faced mortality rates of 11%, and with ZMapp, they faced mortality rates of 24%. So out of all of these, the least effective is definitely ZMapp, and then the more effective are the Regeneron and the NIHS. How has this disease been viewed in society? Ebola is seen as a deadly and terrifying contagious disease. It has been seen this way since it's first discovered. As the outbreak hits, people were getting more scared as cases were traveling closer and closer to their regions of the world. The average person still doesn't know a lot about Ebola, so the fear is still there, but people are less concerned about it now due to the fact that really you don't hear about it on media or anything anymore, and it's not very heavily broadcasted, so people kind of tend to forget that it's still out there and it is still in cases infecting people. And that is my presentation for you guys. Thank you.